Hi, this is a little tutorial about our new rig, Julin, and I want to show you some tips and tricks and some functionality that this rig has. First of all, if you don't see the textures on your model and this button does nothing to you, you should go into Hypershade, into Textures, select the texture node and click this button, generate preview, right? So Maya will force to refresh the textures and it should be all good. The rig itself has pretty stretchy limbs. Also, the limbs have band controls, and these band controls have the start and end influence attributes here in the channel box, and you can polish the curvature of the limb even more with these controls. So you can really create some extreme and interesting poses here just with a couple of controls. Also, both arms and legs has a nice soft IK kinematics. So yeah, you can turn on it and you will see that the knee bends very softly without any popping. So these little controls here near the shoulders and here near the pelvis are controls for switch IK and FK, change some length, and also you can snap the knee in IK mode also. For example, if character stays on the ground on her knees. So yeah, the spine itself also very stretchy, and it has the FK chain and IK chain simultaneously. So it's very handy to animate like this, because you can animate the arcs with the FK chain and some shifting from side to side using your IK chain. Also, if you do not like such behavior, so for example on the hips we have a huge amount of bending the chest and the spine itself. If you need to isolate movement of the hips, you can turn on or play with weight attribute. So right now you see the hips are isolated from the spine, and if you turn on this attribute, the follow zone will be more, and this attribute also available on the chest as well. So yeah, also chest control has the breathe attribute to make some chest movement when you will animate breathing, characters inhale and exhale. If you need some additional controls, for example, to make even more crazier curvature on the spine, you can turn on a little local controls here on the main control, on the pelvis, and you will see these little ones, so you can make some crazy stuff even more. Yeah, character has also controls on the hair, but be aware, because the design of the hair is not straight. So you also need to animate translation when you will animate the hair itself. So it's pretty handy to also use here the translation on the hair. The eyes have fake and real highlights. By default, we have the real highlights that build in the material of outer part of the eyes. But if you need the special placement of the highlights, you can turn on fake ones that have controls, and you can place nice highlights wherever you need, and they will not take the rotation from the head. So it's a really nice little fake here. The design of mouth contains two different styles you can discover. So the first one is classic mode, when we have a nice sharp corners of the lips. So you can just animate and make poses like classic Disney movie. Nice mouth with the sharp corners. But also you can form the poses on the mouth like we see in Luca movie, where we have a roundish mouth. So for that purpose, we have here on this main control, we have a round mouth attribute, and now you can make a nice Luca style mouth. Actually, the rig face is pretty straightforward. So every part of the face, like eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, ear, cheek, have their own main control. So for example, eyebrow here, ear itself, the cheek, and the mouth. And the interesting part about mouth, that you can actually slide using rotation. You can actually slide it a little bit, the shape of your mouth, around the sphere of the face, I guess. You can do a nice, but not really extreme, but nice pull this from the side if you need. On the face, we have two controls to make some bending of the face itself, of the head and the face itself. So yeah. With the rig, you will get also the studio library face expressions presets. So you can play with them and look how these expressions are made. You can clearly use them at the base for your posing, or you can use them as they are. But I need to mention that when you work with the mouse controls and you need maybe make some extreme poses, like you have one pose like this, and in the next frames you need to make some close mouse here, it's better to not try to go back with these controls and make something weird. Okay, it's better to make a reset the mouth and try to make the pose from the scratch, right? or take from the library. But please work with the mouth controls very carefully. First, using only the biggest controls on these corners, or this mouth control, or these upper lips. And if you get some weird folds, do not forget that you can actually rotate controls to achieve a nice curvature on the face. It's not really perfect, but yeah, do not forget that you also can rotate the controls. The controls itself have some limitation. For example, these TX, translate X axis, you can't go crazy inside, but you can go crazy outside. Yeah. Also some limitations we have here on the eyebrows, and also we have limitations on the cheeks. Yeah. Of course, rig itself has a nice detailed controls on the teeth. You can move the all part of the upper and lower teeth. You can get rid of some teeth, right? You can make them not perfect as you need. And also we have here the tongue rig, but it's not an FK chain. The all controls, 3 controls on the tongue, they are separated from each other. I found that such workflow in most cases is better. You can achieve a really nice waves and organic moves on the tongue, but if you really need the FK chain, you can use, for example, Animbot temp controls, and you can create the FK chain with that. So yeah. The one more interesting feature that we have with this rig, that you can find a proxy rig in the folder. So for example, you have some animation and you need to boost the FPS in your scene. Actually, the rig itself is pretty light, but sometimes we need even more speed in the viewport. You can turn on a reference editor and replace the original rig with the proxy. In this case, you will see that this model, this rig, has no cloth, has no controls on the face, has no blend shapes. So for example, the elbows will bend not so nice like in the original rig. The knees will bend not so nice also. But you will get a huge additional performance. And when you're done, just replace your proxy rig with the original one, and all your animation on the face that was done before will be here. And yeah, you can polish till the end like that. So I want to thank you for purchasing this rig, and have fun with it, show your animation in social media, and have a nice day.
Оцей притрушений – наша здобич.